Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover here today. So before we dive into these topics, if you end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. And if you are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. We're starting here with two topics. Once again, talking about the PS5 Pro. We're just counting down the days now. I believe it's 9 days away from officially releasing, so it's right around the corner. And we have more good news here, where now the list of PS5 Pro enhanced games is 80 plus titles. Now, I'm obviously not going to read off every title here. We've talked about a lot of these titles, but pretty much every day there are new games being announced that are going to be getting PS5 Pro enhanced. And so we started with the original announcement of the PS5 Pro sitting at around 40 or 50 titles in total that are going to be Pro enhanced. But, you know, after about a month and a half, we're now looking at 80 plus titles. And I have no doubt that that's going to shoot up to 100 in no time. And so what's worth pointing out here is this is significantly more than what we saw with the PS4 Pro. I don't remember the exact number of titles that were going to be PS4 Pro enhanced at the launch or around the launch, but this I know is significantly more than what we saw. So I think that's just kind of more good news there. You know, we heard from multiple individuals that apparently it's very easy for developers to enhance their games on the PS5 Pro, and seeing how rapidly this list is growing, yeah, it seems like that's actually true. But continuing to talk about the PS5 Pro, we have a write-up here from WCCF Tech where they say the PlayStation 5 Pro Horizon Forbidden West patch introduces an image treatment solution that delivers better image quality from what we've seen so far of the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution upscaler. During the latest episode of their weekly podcast, the tech experts at Digital Foundry discussed this new image treatment solution, saying that it delivers a pristine image quality that is close to what NVIDIA DLSS can deliver on PC and considerably better than what we have seen even with PSSR and what it does so far. The solution, which is reportedly in development for Guerrilla Games' next project, is likely a compute-based solution that doesn't use the machine learning hardware of the PS5 Pro, so it could potentially run on the base console, where it could deliver much more impressive results. Considering the only upscaler available on the regular PS5 is AMD FSR, which delivers some middling results, as we've seen over and over in the past few months. Although the great image quality delivered by this image treatment solution could be thanks to the high base resolution, that being 1440p, it could be another great option for developers, as it could allow Guerrilla or any other developer using the Decima engine, like Kojima Productions for Death Stranding 2, to use the PS5 Pro machine learning hardware to do other things. The superior image quality delivered by Horizon Forbidden West on the PlayStation 5 Pro, thanks to the new image treatment solution, could be matched by any other game using PSSR with a high enough base resolution, as the games using the upscaler seen so far had a much lower base resolution than 1440p. Thankfully, we won't have to wait much longer to see for ourselves what the AI-powered upscaler can do. And so this is something that's been going a little bit under the radar, but I thought was worth pointing out here, where we know that PlayStation Studios, they're always trying to kind of evolve their technology and their techniques and what they're doing with their games in terms of being able to produce a better image quality. But what's interesting about Guerrilla, specifically with Forbidden West, is that the solution that they've come up with here is not taking advantage of PSSR, but is something more custom, I guess, to the Decima engine. And because of it, it's actually delivering even better results, something close to NVIDIA's DLSS. And it makes me wonder, you know, if this is something that can actually help PSSR, because PSSR is going to continue to evolve and improve. This is just the first iteration, but it's just interesting to think that Guerrilla is like working on their own thing for Decima. And as the article points out, because of this, the AI technology that is inside of the PS5 Pro can basically be reserved to be used for something else. We also know that Death Stranding 2 is coming next year, and it'll be really interesting to see if Kojima Productions decides to use this solution. So yeah, definitely something we might want to continue to pay attention to here. Gorilla doesn't seem to be messing around when it comes to, finding ways to produce even higher and better image quality for their games. But moving on to the next topic, I want to talk to you briefly about Monster Hunter Wilds once again. Just a reminder, the beta is out for PS Plus subscribers. It says here, Monster Hunter Wilds will feature multiple display options on consoles as well as a 120Hz output option, judging from the PS Plus exclusive beta that is now live worldwide. As shown in a screenshot, the next entry in the series, launching in a few months, will allow players to either prioritize resolution or frame rate, as well as enable 120Hz output for VRR compatible displays. Unfortunately, according to reports, both display modes have to make some heavy compromises in terms of frame rate and image quality, and performance is not very stable in either mode, dropping heavily in some areas, so much that VRR is actually disengaged. But thankfully, there's still some time before release, and things could be improved further in time for the official release. And it's also worth mentioning here, it says, while image quality and performance may not be amazing, it definitely feels like Monster Hunter Wilds will be a massive step forward over its predecessors, thanks to some of its new features, which include the focus mode gameplay mechanics and 100-player lobbies that promise improved interactivity with other hunters. And so, yeah, this is something that I think is worth pointing out, especially after talking about the PS5 Pro, because if I'm not mistaken, Monster Hunter Wilds will be a game that takes advantage of the PS5 Pro, and from what we've heard, apparently it's going to greatly benefit the performance mode, so you're going to get a much higher image quality at a much more stable frame rate. But generally speaking, it does seem like Monster Hunter Wilds is going to be one of these games that does struggle a little bit on the base consoles. And so I'm curious, let me know down in the comments below if you've already tried out the Monster Hunter Wilds beta and what you think of it on PS5, and if you're looking forward to the official launch. Moving on to the next topic, though, we have a pretty significant update on Bungie's Marathon. This is being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle. Marathon game director Joe Ziegler gave a brief update on Bungie's upcoming extraction shooter. While the video is light on details, it does reveal that they plan on expanding playtesting to more players in 2025. During the closing bits of the video, Ziegler confirms Bungie plans to expand its playtesting to more players next year. They are looking to add a significant amount of testers to these periods, giving players the chance to check out the game during development. He also confirms that the game is available to wishlist on PS5, Xbox, and Steam, and is encouraging players who are interested in Marathon to wishlist it. In this video, he also talked a little bit about the gameplay, and the one thing I want to point out here that was interesting to me was the fact that he went out of his way to say that this game is not going to be for everybody. And the reason for that is because it's a pretty intense game. It's not going to be the most accessible game, in the sense that it is an extraction shooter, and because of that, it's going to be quite challenging, and it's a very high risk, high reward type of experience that, people, if they're really trying to succeed in the game, are going to be playing at, you would assume, a relatively high level and a very competitive level. And so I did find that interesting, because I think that approach could ultimately benefit the game, right? Where we don't want necessarily every game to be made for everybody, because then they can be very bland and uninteresting and, kind of lack that depth. And so it gives me a bit of hope here that maybe Marathon will have a lot of depth to it. He also did tease out like two of the characters, or I guess the runners is what they call them, which does seem to confirm that they are going for like a kind of hero shooter based thing here, which is more concerning to me. Like, it would have been way cooler if you could just customize your character, but then again, he didn't really go into detail, so maybe these are just like base templates and then you can kind of customize your characters. But either way, we're getting some info on a Marathon, and I assume we'll be seeing more of it, if not at the end of this year, sometime early 2025. But there you go, that's the update on Marathon. The final topic here talks briefly about Call of Duty Black Ops 6. We have some of our first sales data. First, this is coming from Matt Piscatella. He is the head of what is formerly the NPD, now known as Circana, And he says, sneak peek into next week's data, according to Circana's player engagement tracker, just shy of half of all U.S. active Xbox Series players during the week ending in October 26th engaged with Call of Duty. This is nearly 2 times the prior week. On PS5, slightly less than 1/3 of all active users engaged. That's up nearly 30%. But VGC also reports that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has topped the UK physical sales charts despite a year-on-year drop in sales. As noted by GamesIndustry.biz's Christopher Dring, the physical launch weekend sales for Black Ops 6 are 10% lower than those of Modern Warfare 3 last year. Dring did note that the drop in sales is almost entirely due to a drop in sales on Xbox, suggesting this was inevitable with Game Pass. And so there's a couple of things here that's worth pointing out. It says here that PS5 sales remain steady year on year. So basically nothing has really changed on the PlayStation 5 side of things when it comes to physical UK sales. But most people on Xbox are buying digitally. I think like 90% of people on Xbox or something like that are buying their games digitally. So I don't really know that this is, that useful of a metric. But it is the first piece of data that does seem to confirm that there is some level of impact here with sales. It's worth noting that Modern Warfare 3 sales were down, I believe, like 25% already last year in the UK. And so because of that, we're seeing an even bigger drop now. But, again, that's because the game is launching in the Game Pass. A lot of people are going to decide rather than buy it, I'm just going to play it on Game Pass. So that's the first data. I'll be, kind of continuing to pay attention to this and see what happens and inform you guys. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.